Hello and welcome to Filling It With News, episode number 145. In the chat, there's nobody. Great
Hello.
start. Hello, nobody. Fantastic start. Very happy to see that. Hello, TC.
At least the notification came through.
Did it? Well, that's good at least. At least there's that.
Yeah, so it'll be around.
Yes, mine just came through as well.
At least YouTube's still telling people I do streams. Which is something.
Yeah, it come through on me.
I did do. Right. I said, where the fuck's Green Thunder? So he must be busy anyway. Office workers in aesthetics says Randy couple in neighborhood building have very public sex in full view of their window.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, if you got it,
would this famous porn if I was to show it? Because technically it's blurred out. And there's a video.
Peeping Toms. Let's give them something to peep
I'm
at,
dead.
baby.
Well, you are giving a warning, so. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Well, really get into it. Isn't it?
Dude, they knew they were being watched.
Oh, Green. No.
Even if they didn't know, they didn't care.
Yeah. You know what? Even better.
Like, hey, you should just be like, hey, I bet you wish you were getting some of this. Yeah, hello, Tom.
Come on, you know at that angle, maybe.
Yeah, a raunchy couple were caught having very public sex while office workers in neighbouring building got a full glimpse of their naughty act. Office workers got a full view of a cheeky burst out and burst in laughter and disbelief as the couple did the dirty without shutting their curtains.
But did she get the promotion?
We'll never know. Now, the latest video was posted on Twitter.
It doesn't show the ending.
The caption, exhibitionists or Monday morning band on awareness. Workers struggled to focus on their mundane tasks and burst into aesthetics at the show in the next building. What I think happens is that they probably realized they were on, like, people could see them and they probably just stopped. Or shut the curtains or something.
Maybe they were used to those she hotels where, like, you can't see through the glass.
Tinted windows is what you need.
Yeah.
Onlookers in the neighbouring building can be heard chatting in disbelief as the pair go about their business completely unaware of their audience.
You are not unaware. Well, I guess in the heat of passion.
Yeah, you're too focused on the fucking to know people are watching.
Focused on the genitals, I guess.
One viewer
Focus
pointed
on
to
something.
might describe the extraordinary scene as breakfast on a show. Who needs porn sites when you work in a place like this? Yeah. Free Monday morning porn.
It's what I enjoy breakfast too. My neighbor's doing it.
I thought I called the pair legends out of it. Everyone was laughing at them. Other ones not getting in there. Other ones not getting any in their life. One unlucky from The Office just hung her head while watching the spectacle, while the cameraman struggled to keep a straight shot while wheezing with laughter. I said, well, it didn't even say where this was. I guess we have no idea where this was.
Is that a bath? That's a bathtub, right?
I think so. I'm not sure. There we go. Where are we? Fuck's sake. Hey, how come we have 2 people watching this and 8 likes? 3 people and 8 likes. That doesn't make sense. I really don't understand this. No, it looks like a spa bath, yeah. Probably was.
Sometimes I don't think the numbers are accurate.
I don't know why. Sometimes I'll like check a stream, and a second stream later I end up with less likes than I had before. I don't get how it works. Like YouTube, stop taking away my likes. I'm gonna let you at least add more likes. Yeah, maybe it is Green Thunder. Finally find complete stranger in their home. Sleeping in their home, sorry. Coventry fan John Baker found a complete stranger sleeping in his conservatory as he sneaked into his house while he watched his team go top of the league on the TV. I think if this was in America, he'd probably get shot.
It depends on the area.
Yeah. Right.
Chucker, you're roboting. John was on cloud nine after watching his beloved team beat Wimbledon with a last-minute goal, but his excitement turned to horror later when his mum Monica discovered an uninvited guest in the Peterborough home last weekend. Well, at least he didn't find a stranger bogging in the bathroom, yeah, true. Marketing officer John said it was about 9:30 p.m. You were in a good mood because of the football. My mum went to take out her French bulldog Pom Pom to the garden so he could go to the toilet before coming in for the night. To get the garden, you have to go through the conservatory. So my mum is taking Pom Pom out when she suddenly says, "John, you've got a friend. You've got friends around." She then says, "Come and have a look at this." I came through to the conservatory and there's a guy asleep on the floor next to the radiator. He walked in through our front door, walked down the hallway and past all of us in the lounge watching the football. See, how many people were in the lounge at the time? Someone must have noticed. You would notice this kind of thing.
Pom Pom wasn't doing his job. He didn't even alert.
You think the dog would bark or something.
Right? Dog's like, oh, hey.
He's in there, but then slumped on the floor to sleep because we found him with one arm still holding on to it. He was aged in his 40s, wearing a baseball cap and a big coat, and had blood on his lips. Can't say I ever did this. Can't say I ever did that. I did the wake up once in the neighbor's garden after the big night in town.
Blood on his lips.
Or a stranger shagging in the shower. At least if you're shagging in the shower, you can clean yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Shocked John couldn't believe what he was seeing. Yeah, my first thoughts were, what the hell is going on? Then said to him, "Ollie, this isn't your house." He looked his eyes about 5 times and tried to stand up, and staggered a bit, then walked into the wall. He was even drinking a lot. He kept saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." What I think happened here is that he probably just must have been really drunk, stumbled into the wrong house, thinking it was his house, and then fell asleep. I know this has happened.
I've done something similar. Not like a stranger's house, but I've been at a friend's house and woken up in like their porch, like on the steps randomly. Like, oh, what just happened?
And I've had the worst thing I had was I was at a friend's house in the middle of the country one night, and then I somehow ended up waking up in a friend's house covered in blood with one shoe on, thinking, how the fucking hell did this happen?
Oh my gosh.
How do you end up like that? Having no recollection of what just happened in the last few hours to get to where I was at this point. I was in total disbelief. It was scary because my young daughter Elsa was asleep upstairs, and my mum, who's 72, lives here. It's not something you hear every day, a random person sleeping in your house.
You know, it's kind of,
of
yeah, it's kind of like a wake up call to our vulnerabilities, you know?
In fact, you can just walk in.
Right.
I mean, the best thing to do is to get him out any way I could. He wasn't aggressive, just disorientated. He seemed to know the route out of our house, so I walked behind him with a gentle hand on his back and guided him to the front door before he stumbled into the night. I went back into the conservatory with Mum and we just burst out laughing. Luckily, nothing happened. It was just a crazy situation. We went out in the lines for a couple of hours, so he could be there as long as that. So he could have been there as long as that if he hadn't needed to take Pom Pom to the garden. He may well have been there all night, which is a little worrying. Oh, how did you not hear the door open and close? At least you think you would. You think you'd hear the door open and close, wouldn't you? Oh, Chucker's back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, the night you can't remember a good indication of the fun had by all. I wouldn't say it was fun. I mean, I ended up getting covered in blood, so when I said that was fun. Eventful, certainly, but not fun.
I love how they just guided him out and didn't even like see if he was okay or anything. Like, off you go.
I mean, it did just invade their house technically, so.
Very true.
If a dog at my house, if the dogs don't hear you, you're gonna wake up with Mr. Remington in your face.
Oh yes. That's a lot of places here.
Didn't he say he was watching a big football game? Probably had volume cranked up high. Yeah, but still. You know this kind of thing, you do.
Shoot, I can't even come home from work, and them dogs don't hear me. Just as soon as they hear the door squeaking, they're barking.
So are mine. Mine
That's
here.
kind of useful. That's kind of useful for dogs, isn't it? It's kind of why dogs are kind of useful in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah. Now I've actually, when I was younger, had to leave my car like behind bars before, so I didn't drive home drunk. And one time I did find a stranger sleeping in my car, like in the back seat.
Somebody forgot to lock it, huh?
Yeah, I sure did.
I remember.
At the time, CDs were huge, so like I had like both my CD books like completely destroyed.
I remember the story one time Rose talking about she woke up in the middle of the night and found some drunk dudes asleep on her driveway. She actually did the damnedest thing to that dude.
What did she do?
Married him that morning.
Oh.
Piers Morgan, great as a vulnerable young drama queen who should go back to school, but President Trump stop mocking her and start listening because she's right about climate change. You have enemies, said Winston Churchill. Good, that means you've stood up for something sometime in your life. For a tiny 16-year-old kid, big-tailed Greta Thunberg has made a lot of enemies. For many people,
there's something ironic about Mr. How Dare You defending Little Miss How Dare You.
Yeah. For a tiny 16-year-old kid, big-tailed Greta Thunberg has made a lot of enemies. As many people lambasted her as praised her yesterday. After their blistering, tearful speech to the UN, in which she berated delegates for what she perceives as a shameful delegation of a duty over climate change. As a very major political issue these days, social media tries swiftly adopted attention partisan positions about Feinberg, and there's no middle ground between Greta Mania and Greta Phobia. I'm gonna keep saying never take never take advice from the Tide Pod generation.
Don't you think this article is also sort of sensationalizing it, though? I mean, to say a 16-year-old has tons of enemies and, you either hate her or you love her. I mean, wouldn't you say that in effect this article is also a part of the problem?
Yes, but it's the Daily Mail, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the article is. The article's not really making it worse, but it is keeping that level of what the hell going on.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing against her. If anything, I would have something to say about her parents. I mean, she's 16.
Yep.
I mean, she's almost a big criticism, but young enough to be indoctrinated into this stuff, so.
Yeah, I don't want to say her voice doesn't count or anything. It's just, I know when I was 16 and then looking back and, I don't know. I just feel like she's being taken advantage of.
And I think I would quite happily go back and punch my 16-year-old self in the face. I think I
Yeah.
probably deserved it.
Now you think about, I wish I was 16 again and know what I know now.
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
There's
I
no
think
sense
that
of
rubs
going.
me
in
the wrong
high
way about. The thing that rubs me wrong about this Greta chick, it's not that she doesn't deserve a voice or anything. It's the fact that people are using what she says, the stuff that she's been taught to say, and points at so many different people and says, y'all don't deserve a voice because of what she says.
Yeah. All those years of scientific research that she's had out in the field and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hello, Monday. I don't think anyone hates her, just they don't take her seriously if she's clearly being coached. If you're liberal, she's blatantly parasitic teenage firebrand, single-handedly saving the planet and torching useless politicians must do. But if you're conservative, she's a crony, whining, annoyingly self-righteous weirdo who is massively exaggerating the imminent threat posed by climate change and just doesn't get it. Hey, we should put Scotty on a wood chipper leg first at 2 inches per minute. Cryptic, we should not do that. And is it Cryptic eventually you're going to run out of his kills? That's his new thing now. He doesn't say penis anymore. He just, whenever he comes in the chat and I'm there, he'll just give a new way of killing me. Usually I find myself in two minds about that. Part of me loves Greta. There's something really remarkable about it. By the way, this day is thrown into the world stage on a single issue mission. Like a human egg-sized missile. Because I think what she's doing, I think the only reason the UN let her speak was because of how young she was.
Oh, and even her speech, I shouldn't be missing school for this. Well, yeah, you shouldn't be. Why are you missing school for this? I mean, I applaud her passion about it, I mean,
I don't know the.
but it's kind of like,
I mean, I left school at 16, but
She's missing school at 16 because all those millionaires that are funding her pay well.
Yes.
I mean, I left school at 16, but I didn't speak at the fucking UN, so.
No, I skipped school to go smoke pot, like every other normal 16-year-old that wasn't on the national stage.
I just went to college instead.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, I did that too. I tried to graduate as soon as possible.
I didn't graduate. I just left school at 16. They wouldn't let me back after that point. In Scotland, you can legally leave at 16. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I skipped school to go hunting.
Yeah, but then again, before that, I also skipped school and just smoked weed and played video games and stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah.
George Soros was sitting next to her during this speech. Never forget that. I did not know that, Richo.
And apparently,
Well,
Crypto is dark. He's not yellow
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, I'm dark now, Tom.
Well,
Well, what
remember they were talking about she came over to the U.S. in that nice fancy that green sailboat.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah, that was George Soros's boat.
yes. Well, now it's starting to make sense.
Well, what pissed me off about her speech was, "I dare you."
No, how dare you?
Yeah, you know, like it's all our fault. This stuff started way before us.
Right?
No,
Like big corporations haven't been a part of this
she
problem.
won't challenge, but the thing is, she won't challenge the leaders of China and India, who are the biggest polluters in the world.
Yeah,
Or that.
She'll challenge someone like Trump instead.
Nobody wants to challenge China.
Well, the problem is it's a matter of she can go to the UN, she can come into the US and sit and challenge it all that she wants. Because unlike China, she won't just disappear from the US.
This is true.
Yeah, she's Swedish, so eventually she might. Cryptic goes dark in his own. Well, we should sell Scotty into sex trafficking and slowly get him attacked to pain pills so he dies slowly. Well, don't you get on the whole killing thing as well?
No point in selling Scotty for sex trafficking. He wouldn't make as much money.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say there?
you trying to
Hey,
say,
cheap.
Trucker, that or the only the blind?
Well, not even the blind anymore.
I know
That
that
ship's
ain't what I'm
sailed.
saying.
That ship's sailed now.
Yeah, but that ain't what I was saying.
Yeah.
I wasn't including that one.
No, another blind person.
Any of them.
First it was global cooling, then it was ozone layer, then it was global warming, now it's climate change.
Oh, it's been a lot of things the past 50 years.
Oh, it was warming, then cooling, then warming again, then cooling, then climate change, then
Well, you got to
then
take it.
man-made. And
I can actually give you guys citations of. All right, 1967, we were supposed to have a dire famine by 1975. In 1976, they thought that famine was imminent. In 1980s, it was acid rain. In 2000, children won't know what snow is.
Well, you take it started back in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the big steel factories and stuff like that. It's been going on for 100 years or more. But it looks like they want to blame everybody now.
Yeah.
the irony of, I was actually talking with somebody the other day.
It's a time cycle. There are periods of time where the planet gets warmer and hotter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt that we are having a bad impact on our Earth. Like, there is no doubt that there is pollution. There is no doubt that shit is going on. But I don't think it's as hysterical as everybody is making it out to be. And I would like to see more research done on all aspects of why this is happening, and not just it being a human thing.
And over the years, emissions and things have actually reduced drastically in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Because of innovation.
Right.
And now these people just want to
the irony about the whole thing was somebody was watching my channel the other day and was commenting about how wide the roads were where I was at the time. They had mentioned something about, wouldn't it be funny if the climate change folks would try to blame the roads? What was it, crappy, about 5-10 years ago, somebody did try to blame the roads themselves for climate or for global warming.
Yeah.
Was it due to the reflection of the sun or something? Like the absorption? because of
It's
the
because
black
yeah,
concrete
yeah, because
or
it's
whatever.
Yeah.
blacktop. It's
Yeah.
blacktop and it reflects heat.
Yeah.
It absorbs heat,
It
doesn't it?
absorbs heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can say that about the fucking pavement as well. Then our houses technically.
Yeah.
That's why they say cities, like the buildings and stuff, they absorb like all that heat. They call them what, like concrete jungles, concrete islands. I forget what they're
Well,
called.
even though cities are actually even more friendly to the environment than living in the country would be for everyone. Just a year ago, the lone protester had captured attention when she plonked herself down in front of the Swedish Parliament with a sign saying "School speak for the climate." She began skipping school once a week to make a stand about climate change. This week, millions around the world marched to the beat of her drum, and she got directly challenged. She got to directly challenge the most powerful collection of people on the planet, and she did with staggering velocity. How dare you get a claim involving the righteous indignation of many Emmy-winning actresses and US football star Megan Rapinoe. On various stages this week, you have stolen my dreams and my childhood. Well, she was about 15 when it started, so really her childhood didn't have that much left in it anyway. It was like stealing your childhood, didn't it? You didn't have much of that left.
And who exposed her to it? How does your, I don't know what phrasing I'm looking for.
Probably the school.
How do you as a parent like push your kid gets into this, right? So you're like, okay, I support my kid, but then ironically your kid says, I've lost my childhood because I've gotten into this.
But then again, I think it could be the school as well, because I remember getting indoctrinated in this bullshit in school, so it could be the school.
Well,
This is true.
actually, Cuban, the biggest hint about why she is like she is and how Greta is like she is boils down to one simple statement. You know her parents are Antifa, right?
I have heard this. I've heard her parents are Antifa. I have heard she comes from a lineage of actors. I've heard several things. I've heard that she has fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't want to clown the girl or anything, but
I
I
know
don't
she's
know about
autistic and she has OCD. That's all I know.
She
Yeah.
has Asperger's.
Asperger's, OCD. Hmm.
Well, the thing about Asperger's is
It doesn't. I'm not saying it loses credibility. Like, I just wanted to point that out. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm not saying you don't lose credibility because you have these things. Like,
well,
just
one of the problems is one of my godsons has Asperger's, and he cannot play video games because he can't differentiate between violence in video games and violence in real life.
It's interesting.
Hey, wouldn't it be crazy if all of Scotland got sober and they became a world leader in ways of science and industry? Amanda, there was actually a period in time when when Scotland actually was the world leader in science and industry.
Actually, yes. Some of our most famous scientists and psychologists come from there, which is interesting.
Skittle says I'm wrong about this, but no, I'm right. And RVA's son has Asperger. Does Asperger's and come with lettuce and comes with cheese and lettuce? Cryptic.
And bacon.
And yeah, he said earlier he's a terrible person. I'm inclined to agree.
I think Skittles is just jealous he's not Scottish.
You should tell him. You should actually tell him that. He'll be really happy.
That was funny.
Why did they name the disorder to sound so delicious? I can remember an episode of South Park. Stan gets diagnosed with it, and then like Cartman creates like a thing when he sticks like burgers up his arse. Yeah.
On a weird medical note.
People.
On a weird medical note, there is something called cheeseburger crotch, and it's when one side of a girl's vagina gets really, really swollen and huge. And it's due to constriction in one of your blood vessels.
Thank you for
Well,
that.
so
I'm
much
gonna
for
look at-
stopping for dinner. Thanks, Cuban.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
that. Thank you for that. I'll never look at King Burger in the same way again.
That's sorry.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that, Cuban. It ain't gonna stop him.
Right?
Yeah.
People
Within
still
minutes
eat
of
Arby's
words,
roast beef sandwiches.
Within minutes of words of flossing around the globe, casting a terrible charge of light on climate change.
I don't know.
They were soon followed by video footage of her putting on a strange face to President Trump as he walked into the UN. To many, the double whammy of refrigerator seats and savage swell was heroic. To the point I agree. Notwithstanding over-the-top thespian histrionics, it achieved the massive media attention she craved, and her message is important. Greta has Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism which she calls a superpower. It's a developmental disorder confined by profound difficulties in social interaction and non-verbal communication. It can cause those to develop an intense provocation with nanosubject and one-sided verbosity. People with Asperger's often feel like pain and fear and joy, often experience it more intensely than those who don't have it. No man, no one's really gonna be calling a cheeseburger a crotch. Only weirdos like you are gonna be doing that. Shit. Fuck, where's the fuck my lighting on? There we go. Are you talking to Dr. Andrew?
I'm distracted.
It would even be hard for the most ardent supporters to argue that Greta doesn't have an intense preoccupation with a narrow subject. She displays one-sided verbosity. Or indeed, Call said the high emotional apocalyptic warnings to the world is exploding into hell around us are not perhaps driven by abnormally enhanced fear and pain. That's because she's probably been brainwashed into believing the world's gonna be gone in like 12 years.
Well, if you listen to AOC, Miami's going to be gone in 2.
They've been saying that.
Really, 2 years.
What's going on?
Well, what's gonna happen is Florida's gonna sink into the water or something, is it?
Yeah, Florida's supposed to like completely either sink into the water or go off by itself, and California is supposed to do the same apparently. But I know California is on a fault line, a lot of it.
California's sinking into the water. Please help them.
Well, I think they were talking about the ocean actually rising up.
Oh, the rising in the oceans as well. Mm.
Yeah, they said the Norfolk Naval Base is setting up contingency long-range plan for building seawalls.
We're gonna have to, yeah. I
Then-
mean, if we get, yeah.
Wasn't
That
Hawaii
last-
supposed to be gone by now?
I
Uh,
didn't know that.
Wasn't Hawaii supposed to be gone by now?
Hawaii,
Yeah, isn't that supposed to be underwater by now?
it's a miracle it ain't. All them volcanoes. One go off and just blow the whole island up.
My biggest fear about our coast would be if anything like Hurricane Dorian were to happen, it would like really suck for my area.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I that was really unprecedented for it to be lingering for 2 days as a Cat 5 like that. And had it been, I mean, I feel very badly for the people there, you know? It would really suck. Let's just say that if that happened.
For
anybody.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, if Cat 5 hung over that area down there, the Bay Bridge would be gone.
I
Houston
wouldn't.
Shore would probably be gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a home anymore.
I've heard a lot about Florida losing homes due to rising sea levels. and that's where the problem I have with Greta. On the science, I agree that climate change is very real and present threat, and our world leaders must do all they can to combat it. But our end of the world now is running around terrifying millions of young people to the extent of eco-anxiety. The eco-anxiety is a massively increasing stress disorder. Eco-anxiety, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, they're causing it though.
Yeah,
Of course,
'cause
when you think about something over and over and over again, and people tell you shit over and over and over again, and it's like this doom and gloom, you're going to develop this neurosis from it, which I think is what a lot of people are suffering from right now.
He said 10 years and this girl said 8 years. Sorry, Kiva.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm just wondering what Nostradamus said. That's who I want to know. I mean, fuck science.
It has made almost an entire generation think they're about to die. And
Well,
she
she said that
what we can do about it.
she said that they have taken her childhood. To me, she has given up her childhood.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
For me, it's like she's 16. She doesn't really have much of that left anywhere.
Right.
It's like you still have at least like 15 years of your childhood, so go fuck yourself. You chose this.
That's it. That's the key to it. She chose it.
Dude, it would be a dream.
She could have stayed in school, but she didn't. She chose to leave school and do this instead. So yeah.
She has the microphone right now. She has a platform. I think it would be in her best interest to start talking about resolutions, how we can fix the problem. She
doesn't have any.
Right. But pointing the finger and yelling at everybody isn't helping the cause either. I mean, are people really that dumb to think that propping her up and doing this is really going to work? I mean, it is working some, but...
Hey, why is God not like in China about their polluting ways? Because she's probably too scared to take on China. Yeah, she probably doesn't even vape like a normal teen. Because China would take her out back and shoot her, that's why, yeah, probably.
I was really surprised at the 5 countries she chose to speak out against, to be quite frank. It's weird. What were they? I know one was Brazil. Is Brazil a huge polluter? I mean, is that a really ignorant question?
Well, the Amazon.
I know the Amazon.
So I assume it might be because of that.
Yeah.
And the president of Brazil, like when he was offered help about that, he said no. So maybe why. I asked by a journalist for the Atlantic this week. Young people like what young people like her should do to actually combat climate change. This she replied, they can do everything. There's so many ways to make a difference. So basically, she never actually gave an answer.
Right.
So I'm like, what the fucking hell is your solution then? Specifically what? Sure, but specifically what? When pressed, she's just joining an activist movement if you're old enough voting. And if you're old enough voting. Yes, that much is obvious, but Greta doesn't have much to offer. She just wants us to listen to his science. One person who should definitely do that is President Trump, whose reaction to Greta's speech is almost entirely predictable. And it's undisguised discussion. Maybe she could talk about like renewable energies and stuff, because actually I think I agree with like getting like more renewable energies, because you kind of have to at some point, because the oil is eventually going to run out.
Right.
I mean,
I definitely.
No, it doesn't.
I definitely think we should be investing in a lot of technology, but to make things better, of course.
No, man, we can't get back to our Facebook photos page.
I was laughing at what you were reading about what Trump said. It's not funny. but it is because I can hear him say it.
And she seems like a very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future.
Yes.
Being sarcastically, it's nice to see. I mean, at least she actually put that as a Twitter bio, so I'll give her credit for that. She sort of like takes the trolling. She sort of just takes the trolling, like nobody asked for the trolling. In his usual ham-fisted way, Trump does a point that Greta appears to be a very sad, angry girl with a grimly realistic view of the future. Well, she's 16. I'm not too surprised. She also yesterday came over as extremely vulnerable, emotionally unstable, and possibly psychologically damaged by a year of campaigning. And this should hardly surprise anyone who knows her background. Greta first got worried about climate change when she was 8 years old and expressed shock that adults didn't appear to be taking it seriously enough. This led to her suffering deep depression when she was 11 and saw her stop eating for 2 months and going to school and then start speaking to everyone bar her family and one teacher.
To me personally, that sounds like an individual issue more so than climate. And that's just saying. I mean, if that's what you're not eating over at 8 years old, that's a deeper issue.
When you're told the world's going to die the world's going to be gone in a few years, you know. Like,
yeah.
Some people are going to shrug that off, or some people are actually genuinely going to believe it, aren't they? And that's the problem there.
Yeah.
It was around this time she got diagnosed with Asperger, excessive compulsive disorder, and selective mutism. Selective mutism. What's that?
I guess it's when people decide not to speak for whatever reason.
That just sounds like a normal teenager, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
that's interesting. I've never heard that.
Selective, if that's just when you decide not to speak, that's just a normal child.
Dude, that's off the top of my head. Please don't. I was being a dirt to dirt there, stating the obvious. Selective mutism. What is that? Please continue.
I'm gonna have to Google that actually. Hello, Ethan Pricked. A lot of Virginians on this theme. Yeah. From he is such a bitch. Yeah, well, you know what? If she's old enough to stand in a fucking stage at the UN by her own volition, she's old enough to be criticized, in my opinion. You know, apparently selective mutism is a complex childhood anxiety disorder characterized by a child's inability to speak and communicate effectively in select social settings such as school. So a normal child, basically.
Yeah. Super duper shy child.
That shouldn't even be a disorder. That's just a normal child at times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess it's considered an anxiety disorder in which a person who's not capable. That's really interesting. But see, here's the thing. Like, she's 16 years old. Like, okay, so just because you're 16 and let's say you're sitting there and you're hitting me over and over and over again, I'm not allowed to defend myself just because you're 16. You know, that's why kids stay in kids' lanes. Like, that's why kids eat at the kids' table.
For the 16, you're pretty much the same size as an adult, so yeah.
Fair enough. I know different countries. Yeah, sorry, Scotty. I know different countries have different, like, variations. Like, 18 is pretty much adult here. 16 can be that overseas, so.
It's weird over here, 16 for some things, 18 for other things.
Yeah.
Tom's changed his picture again, hasn't he? I hope he has, because to me it still shows the old one. Oh, no, yeah, he has changed it. Oh, and Chucker dropped out again. There we go.
And I'm back again. Sorry, my wife calls me up to answer the phone. Yes. Are you on stream? I was.
Her obsessive compulsion was the environment. Good to do. My teacher showed us films of a plastic ocean, shaving polar bears, and so on. She said I cried for the movies. My classmates were concerned with what they watched, but they watched the films, but they stopped. They started thinking about other things. I couldn't do that. Those pictures were stuck in my head. So yeah, it's just basically she was brainwashed by her school and probably her parents as well. Yeah, long hair Scott is our mascot. No, it's not, Mandy. She became a trident eco warrior, pressurizing her family into becoming vegans, drive electric cars, and stop flying.
Oh my gosh, if my child ever tried to get me to be vegan. Oh my gosh.
She then came to the strike protests, and the rest will very likely be history. So Greta's now been propelled to a stratosphere of global stardom, but at what cost of her mental health and well-being?
See, that's what I'm asking. At what cost?
Certainly, if she was mine, I want to protect her now. Now, not keep throwing her into the wolves of diverse global scrutiny and criticism. But that raises another question: Greta's parents and the motivation for this. They both crave the kind of fame their daughter now enjoys. Mother Melina is a well-known Swedish singer who won the Eurovision Song Contest in 2009, and her father, Svante, is an actor. No, it was a laugh for a night. I'll just leave the lad alone now. Good. Yeah. It's widely suspected that Melina initially tipped off the media about her daughter's school strike campaign with the help of a green activist, Foreign, who made millions for his firm. We don't have time for the subsequent publicity blitz after Greta joined his youth advisory board. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, Melina had just written a book about her family, including Greta. It's now become a bestseller. Greta's dad said he doesn't like her missing school, but insists, with respect that she wants to make a stand, she can either sit at home or be unhappy, or protest and be happy. In the long term, she's not really very happy, though, is she? Problem is, she doesn't look remotely happy now.
No, she doesn't look happy at all.
Vulnerable, miserable, and lonely. A teenage girl on the spectrum who can't deal with it was exploding around her. So I need to be careful what you wish for. She wanted this, now she looks like she's regretting this. None of this means she's wrong about climate change. Well, it depends. Bullshit, lad, you got paid to do this. Yeah, you probably did. Almost every credible scientist agrees the planet is now heating up dangerously fast. And laws down to the way we environment guzzling humans now live our lives.
And there's the key to the whole thing. Every credible scientist, because if any scientist casts any doubt on it whatsoever, or says we are not 100% certain, all their credibility is stripped from them.
That is my issue as well, is the academic dishonesty. The
politically driven academic dishonesty to make it worse, yeah.
And you can tell she rehearsed this through because she was trying so hard to cry, yet the tears were just not coming. Many of our powerful politicians, led by Donald Trump, undeniably fail to take it seriously. When I interviewed Trump in London, I pressed him about whether he believes in climate change, and he replied, I believe there is a change in weather. It doesn't, and I think it changes both ways. Don't forget, it used to be called global warming. That wasn't working, and then it's climate change, and now it's extreme weather. That was such a lame, non-committal response, especially coming from a man who's backed by self-serving oil tycoons who pull America out of the crucial Paris Agreement on climate change. And the fake TV voice gave me full body cringe. Trump may not be a climate denier, but he's certainly a skeptic. And the world needs less skepticism. Not if anything, the world needs more skepticism. You shouldn't just believe everything we're told. And then more cold hard realism. So I applaud Greta Thunberg for forcing us. Global heating, apparently, according to the BBC. And they get ostracized if they don't go along with it. Yeah. So I applaud Greta Thunberg for forcing us to wake up and take notice. And I urge presidents to stop mocking her and start listening to her because she's right and he's wrong. But I applaud Greta even more now as she goes back to school and escapes the oppressive limelight that's left her so fragile and leaves at that she's rightly shamed for her excellent work. Yeah, she's gonna end up killing herself or something.
And now we have climate justice warriors.
Yeah, we do. They're all the same ilk anyway.
Hmm.
Two cheeks of the same arse. That's what I say they are.
Very true. I like that expression.
I just had a thought, which is unusual. Take the Dust Bowl back in the 30s. Was that climate change?
Technically, yeah, because climate change happens every day.
I understand that. But it still goes back to my question yesterday. Is this part of the Earth's natural evolution? We can only go back so far with records.
And that's exactly right. And there is research that is being defunded or not even given a platform because it goes against the narrative. It's wrong thing. It's
right.
And it's very dishonest because we do need to find, if there is a problem, we do have to address it, but we can't do it like that.
No. Well, I've heard apparently it's the natural cycle of the Earth to be warmer at some point, colder at other points.
Right. What, 10,000 years ago, we was in a deep freeze?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now they're talking hot. Another 10,000 years, we could be going through another deep freeze.
Yeah.
To me, it's just part of the Earth's natural evolution.
Yeah. Also remember to like and share the stream. I want at least 10 likes on this thing.
Yeah.
Even
everything
science
changes.
Exactly. Everything changes, and even science has its flaws. That's why we test and we keep retesting, so we have a better idea of things.
Well, it's like
that's not
the
politically driven.
It's like the ice bores are doing in North Pole and all.
Mm-hmm. Goodness.
I hear a crying child.
Yeah, it's somebody outside.
Huh?
Oh, muted. I'm sorry.
That's fine. You've had much worse background noise on here, trust me.
I resemble that.
What?
Background noise.
No, I'm sorry. It's just those neighbors tend to fight, so I'm never quite sure what's going on over there, and it's kind of hard for me to actually hear. So
Scotty's gas would keep us warm during the next ice age. No, Cryptic, no, it wouldn't. Like and share the stream. Yeah. There we go. Another Hindu girl abducted and forcibly converted to Islam in Pakistan's Sindhu family stages protest.
I've been hearing this is becoming a problem.
Oh. Yeah, that's back. The browser crossed for like 2 seconds there.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
a bit black for some bizarre reason. Anyway. So progressive, yeah, very progressive. Another case of forced conversion, a Hindu girl was kidnapped by Muslim men and forcibly converted to Islam. In Pakistan's forum, the family members of the girl have staged a protest over the incident, demanding action against the perpetrators. In the recent past, several incidents of forced conversions have come to light in Pakistan, in which girls belonging to the minority community were abducted and forcibly converted to Islam. That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Join Islam, or you will join it for. According to Pakistan's own Human Rights Commission, from 2004 to May 2018, over 7,430 cases of such abductions of Sindhu girls were recorded in Pakistan, however, the actual number is said to be much higher. The Imran Khan government has been facing the ire of not only human rights activists, but the minority community who have raised their voices against harassment. Back to them. Because pictures ran from Ren and Stimpy, usually. Last month, 19-year-old girl identified as foreign was forcibly kidnapped and converted to Islam in the foreign province. Foreign daughter of Bhagwan Singh, a Granfrey, priest of foreign, Tambu Sahib. Fucking hell, get a fucking better language, Jesus Christ. Is that racist? Probably. Was reportedly converted to Islam at gunpoint. Yep. Huge outrage across India, and several political leaders called for stern action against the perpetrators. Will that happen? Probably not. Because wasn't there one where there was like a Christian? There was like a Christian that was executed, and they did fuck all about it.
I don't remember
That. From Pakistan. Like, there was a Christian, and apparently.
I think that goes into that's the executions all that we know about. Yeah. How many do we not know about?
Pretty many, and that's the thing. Though. You don't. I can't remember what they call the Jews and the Christians, but people of other religions, but yeah, they'll pretend to be their friends, and then eventually they'll turn on them or something like that. That's how they work in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And that's what it's probably just what's secured by fucking jail sentence. Somewhat lasted. Where's Greek Fun today? I have no idea. He was in the chat earlier.
Yeah, he popped in earlier.
Not feeling all the good. What? Was that sorry? Was that Kibo?
Oh, I just said he popped in earlier. I saw him earlier.
Yeah. The Ministry of External Affairs have taken note of the incident and raised the issue with the Pakistan government and demanding immediate missile action in this matter. Earlier, MEE spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that Pakistan should fulfill its obligations towards protecting minorities instead of committing one of them as a fire raging there. He further said that India has from time to time raised an issue of treatment of minorities in Pakistan. And we talked about harassment and violence, forced abduction, forced conversion, prosecution of minorities. I feel that minorities here and there, they have some objections which Pakistan should fulfill. The biggest thing is that before speaking of this, Pakistan should know what is happening in their house. And everybody knows what's happening in their house. fire raging there. So yeah, one fucking great religion that is. Join us or die. Join us or die. That's where I
Or
go with
pay.
things.
I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair here. They do give you the option to tax you heavily. I mean, that's if they're feeling, good about themselves that day.
Apparently, they don't like other religions because apparently, like, other religions stole their religion. Like, apparently, like, Jesus was like an Islamic prophet or something. Apparently,
Pretty sure pagans think the same thing about Christianity. If I'm not mistaken, I am not a theologist or anything by that by means, but I've heard that there are some similarities in those stories as well.
A large number of pagan religions believe Jesus did exist. He was not a deity. He was a hell of a guy, and he was a great guy and one hell of a philosopher, but not a deity.
Yes, that's what I meant. Like there was a Jesus Christ in this world, but he was not a deity. Something about like also drawing similarities in between there being a sun and 12 planets and 12 disciples and things like that. I don't know. I'm sorry, Scotty.
never mind. No problem. Well, that's I'm ripping into the last camel rejects. Will you explain your pig, Scott? I have no idea what you're talking about, Mandy. I'm dicking around with the lawnmower. Fucking hell, Green Fun, are you really that desperate? Get fucking.
Hi, Green.
I feel like we should get someone else to pick on. We always pick on Green Fun there. Thing is, he makes it too easy. That's the problem.
Yeah, we do pick on Green Thunder too much.
Yeah. So then,
Is that why he didn't show up today?
no, he says he's dicking around with his lawnmower.
He's been dicking around with that thing all summer.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he used protection.
Yeah.
What, the lawnmower probably needs the protection.
Most awkward case of tetanus in history.
A lot of lube. Like that one video, Scotty, you had of that dude that got his wiener jammed into the pipe and they had to cut the pipe and it was still on his wiener. Yeah, I said wiener like a fucking 13-year-old.
They're near the end of that. Yeah, it's not my fault. I'm trying to fix the piece of shit. Time for more uplifting article. New York man smashes Burger King drive-through window with chain when told he can't pick up the order on bike. An unhappy Burger King patron gave "Have It Your Way" a whole new meaning.
Whoa.
The unidentified male rode his bike through the drive-through window of the Bronx fast food location last month, but told he couldn't pick up his food order on a bike. New York City police wrote in a report obtained by Fox News. The man argued with the 19-year-old worker during the 27th of August incident before smashing through the drive-through window with a chain.
What is this, like 1998? Was he wearing like Jinkos too?
Yeah, they probably should have offered him his meal if he paid for it, but still.
Was he like uber goth, had all those like, the chains that they do like with the wallet,
Hey.
No, my friends had those. It was a different time. I'm not judging.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like you're judging.
Hey, like I said earlier, we all have our blunder years.
Okay, I can't say. I was going to say, I really want to be uptight about that, but then I realized that I was one of the Victorian goths, so
It's okay.
Enjoy, have fun, play. You know,
Well, the
teas.
fact that you even like differentiated it from every other one was really cute.
Well, I was one of the ones that we always looked like we were going to or coming from a funeral. That's really about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can drive through with a horse here. Yeah, I think I read an article about that. There's no audio on the video, but yeah, it's explaining about that actually.
I've actually taken a bicycle through a drive-through before.
It's
I've
not
walked up to a drive-through before and got served.
Yeah, back in the day, I've done that.
Oh, I've done
the
it
thing is,
at in Blackstone at a Wendy's and scared the shit out of a girl working the window.
I was gonna say, I think Crappy and I probably had a similar placement too. Mine was over in
Listen, it's not my fault I can't afford to buy a new lawnmower and have to fix this thing.
All right, night TC.
Bye, TC.
Hey, police shared surveillance video of the suspect sliding open the drive-through window and appearing to yell at the worker. And he closes the window and smashes it before fleeing the store. No one was injured in the incident, police said. Police officer a $2,500 reward for information on the man who was wanted for criminal mischief. I mean, they probably should have served him, but at the same time, he shouldn't have reacted like that.
God damn it.
What happened now?
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't hear her? But Mom's
Hi,
singing
Thunder.
in the kitchen.
Hi, Thunder's mom.
Whoops. Apparently, I forgot to take pills.
You should probably do
Someone
that.
forgot his happy pills.
Mandy wants to know what Green Founder's mom is singing.
Help!
Probably. I mean,
Well, that didn't work.
And I feel like I have to talk about this because it's a big news story. I don't know why you put that in the chat where you can just say it on stream.
Oh, there's a little kid screaming here. I didn't want to interrupt you talking. I didn't want to interrupt everyone. Yeah, actually, I think that we used to do, I don't know if you can still do it, but we used to just go through the drive-through like right before 5 minutes before closing time, be like, hey, what are y'all throwing away? And if you guys don't mind, can we just have it? And most of the time, it'll save them the trip to the freaking dumpster. I mean, not out of the garbage. It's like literally, like stuff that they have pre-made already that's been sitting under the light. Not like nasty stuff. But yeah, I don't want to sound like poor, but sometimes you are poor and you got to do what you have to do.
Push the button with the parrot on it.
Yeah, people do that over here actually with supermarkets.
Parrot. The round button.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'll rake food because like a lot of supermarkets here will just chuck things out, put them in the bins.
Actually, they're starting to propose a lot of things here because we have so much wasted food. And that is something that I have noticed is that there are very strict laws as to what you can or cannot donate to shelters and things like that, as far as like preparation and whatnot because of safety measures. But they are trying to combat some of the food waste by relooking at some of these laws, which I really hope they do because there are hungry people out there. And there is a lot of food that we throw away.
Yeah, apparently there's enough food to feed feed like 11 billion people on the planet. There's a billion people that are.
It's very disheartening. I mean,
and there are several dumpster dive channels. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen people do dumpster diving like with makeout bank.
You'd be surprised what the facility that Trucker and I used to work at used to donate every week.
Oh, yeah?
Dumpster diving is why GameStop has to break the discs now.
Really?
People would take the games out of the dumpster and try and sell them back to GameStop.
That's funny. Yeah, I've heard like Ulta, like Beauty, like MAC, all those places, like some of them are forced to like ruin the makeup products. so people don't get them and sell them or use them or whatever, which is so, I don't
Anyway,
know. Sorry.
Back to news.
Back to the news.
I feel like I have to
Supposedly
add to
there's-
this. 'Cause
supposedly there's-
Supreme Court suspending Parliament was unlawful. Judges rule. Boris Johnson's suspension. Boris Johnson's decision to suspend Parliament was unlawful. The Supreme Court has ruled. Now, I need to learn to fucking speak English, man. Speak it.
Didn't the Queen say, yeah, suspend Parliament, and technically she's the ruler, so how was it unlawful?
Because
Y'all not even know how your own,
Oh man.
y'all don't even know how your own government works. That's retarded.
Because there was one in Scotland that said it was unlawful, and there was one in England that said it was unlawful. Therefore, it's unlawful, apparently.
I actually have been watching all this. I like spent 4 hours one day, and for one, very interesting how you guys like speak to each other. I find it more amusing than C-SPAN, but it is a little confusing, and I'm really actually concerned. I'm sure a lot of you are over there as to what's happening.
One camel's after another. I'm used to it by now.
Well,
All I know-
you shouldn't be used to
That was
this
wild.
because this is not how it's supposed to go.
Y'all voted to do something, and everyone in the government is like, no, we're not going to do it.
Right.
It's the fucking people who voted to Maine that don't want to do it, and they claim it's the people's vote, even though the people's vote happened and it was voted. to leave.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand that. Like, all right, they were like, okay, well, we're not going to go through this because we want a people's vote. We want, what is it? What do you guys call it? A general, where you guys,
referendum.
yeah. So you voted no to that. What was it? An astonishing 296 to 67 to have an election before you guys committed to Brexit. So now it's another issue.
So
I'm
they claim
sorry,
more
just from an
prominent-
outsider looking in, from what you guys were saying was that's it. Brexit's Brexit. You guys are voting for this. That's it. But now it's like, no, no, no. The people didn't know they were voting for a no deal. The people didn't know this. So we should have a general. But no, now we can't do this because it's like excuse after an excuse.
And what's wrong with the American chicken? Y'all
Ugh.
don't want to accept the help?
I don't know. Anyway, Boris Johnson's decision to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks was unlawful. The Supreme Court has ruled. Judges said it was wrong to stop MPs carrying out duties in the run-up to Brexit deadline on Halloween. The PM, who has faced calls to resign, said he profoundly disagreed with the ruling but would respect it. The Labour conference just finished. Early following the ruling, and MPs are returning to Westminster ready for Parliament to reconvene on Wednesday. A senior government official said the Prime Minister spoke to the Queen after the Supreme Court ruling, but would not reveal the details of the conversation. Of course, you wouldn't. Would you?
The Queen needs to smack some heads in. Seriously, a freaking 100-year-old lady just smacking the shit out of people.
I don't like the idea of the Queen having this kind of power, but
There was
for the will of the people, it's kind of a difficult thing.
There was a clip going around of one of the lords who was kind of laughed at, talking about how your guys' military would be pretty much given away to the EU, and that would also include your nuclear intelligence, like everything. You guys would be pretty much like giving up autonomy when it came to those things. You're intelligent, all of that.
The EU wants an army, yeah.
Exactly. That's a little
What is
alarming.
it, Fifth Reich that the EU is?
Fourth Reich.
Fourth.
Corbyn is a full-blown communist. Yes, he is. It comes after the court ruled it was impossible to conclude that there be any reason, let alone a good reason, to advise Her Majesty to prolong to prorogue Parliament for 5 weeks. Thing is, I think the Queen actually has the power to overthrow the Parliament. So I mean, she technically could still do it. Trouble is, though, if she exerts that power, other monarchs and stuff or her herself might actually use the power against her. So, yeah. And keep on English, so I'm sending you a link.
Yeah,
I
thank
mean,
you.
If that's how your government works, I don't like it, but I think she should have used the crap out of her power since she can.
She shouldn't. I mean, technically, she could get rid of Boris Johnson tomorrow and put Corbyn as Prime Minister, but she won't because of obvious reasons. Mr. Johnson, who returns to London from New York on Wednesday, also chaired a 30-minute phone call with his cabinet. A source told the BBC that leader of the House of Commons, Jacob Rees-Mogg, said the other cabinet ministers to call an action by the court and carried through a constitutional coup.
You guys have a constitution? I didn't know that.
Technically, yeah, but it's separated into bits, and like the fucking parts of it are overruled by by laws that have been in place by laws that get put in place. But
So government got it.
actually, even fire the Prime Minister of Australia. I wonder if is that the same as Canada
Sure
as well?
can. I
Is it the
heard
same
that.
as Canada? Is it the same with Canada as well? Because I know she's the Prime Minister. I know she's the Queen of Canada, she's Queen of Jamaica.
She's pretty. She is one of the largest landowners in the world.
She's Queen of about
I mean,
15 different countries.
Right. Can.
And the Prime Minister insisted he wanted to outline his government policies in a Queen's speech on 14th of October. And to do that, Parliament must be prolonged and a new session started later. But critics say he was trying to stop MPs scrutinising his Brexit plans. And the suspension was far longer than necessary. During a speech in New York, the PM said he refused to be deterred from getting on with an exciting, dramatic domestic agenda.
To
Why
answer
is
your
he speaking in New York?
Because, well, the UN's in New York.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Queen cannot fire the Canadian Prime Minister.
Damn.
Thunder.
that
That's
sucks.
one of the arguments that a lot of people are using to get to kick the UN out of the U.S. It's because the UN is sitting on prime real estate and paying virtually nothing in rent.
Not to mention all the
not
fishing.
legally in an undisclosed location or something.
I don't think it.
The UN's
Not
technically
to-
not legally in New York.
No, legally they're not. Legally they're sovereign.
But technically they are in New York. They're in New York, but they're not in New York.
Right. It's a glorified embassy.
Yeah. To do that, he would need a Queen's speech. The court ruling did not prevent him from prolonging. Again, in order to hold on, as long as it does not stop Parliament carrying out its duties without reasonable justification. Trudeau is an anagram of Thurdu equals shit water. Number 10, the court said the Supreme Court had made a serious mistake in extending its reach to those political matters, and it had made it clear its reasons were connected to the Parliament dispute and timetable for Brexit.
Save those two
And
in
the Supreme Court President
addition to these.
Lady Hale emphasising the ruling that this case was not about when and what terms the UK left the EU, it was about the decision to suspend Parliament. If suspending Parliament, so therefore the Remainers don't end up voting in a fucking deal that isn't even a deal, just make us changes to the EU, that's why. Yeah, leave Trudeau alone. Yeah, Mandy actually likes Trudeau. Fucking weirdo. Delivering the Justice's conclusions, she said the decision to advise Her Majesty to prolong Parliament was unlawful because it had an effect of frustrating it or preventing the ability to carry a Parliament to carry out its constitutional functions without reasonable justification. And Lady Hale said the unanimous decision of the 11 justices meant Parliament had effectively been prolonged. The decision was null and of no effect. And apparently he's Castro's son. Speaker of the Commons, John Bercow, said MPs needed to return into the light of explicit judgment, and he had instructed the House of Commons authorities to prepare for the resumption of business from 11:30 BST on Wednesday. He said Prime Minister's questions would not go ahead, but there would be a full scope of urgent questions, ministerial statements, and applications for emergency debates. Shot on school with Lady Hale with a diamond spider on a label, declaring Boris Johnson to be Pinocchio. This judgment is about as bad for the government as it gets. Mr. Johnson is as abundantly clear as prepared to run a general election campaign that pits Parliament against the people. And so, according to the view of the world, includes judges as part of the establishment and standing in his way. Fawns equals Biden and Biden equals Fawns. What? I'm confused. There's a difference between being ruthless and reckless, and the scope of the strength of this judgment cannot be dismissed. That's some pesky judges sticking their nose in. According to the ruling, Mr. Johnson said it would be an unusual judgment, adding the vocative publication has been used for centuries to fight this kind of challenge. Yeah, remember the people's vote. Yeah. Corn pop. Never seen that. There are a lot of people who basically want to stop this country from coming out of the EU, and we have a parliament that is unable to be procured and doesn't want to have an election. It's time we took things forward. The PM said getting a deal was not made easier by these sort of things in Parliament or the courts. But instead, the UK would still leave on the 31st of October. Here's the thing: had the MPs actually done their fucking job, and Theresa May done her job before, we would not have this problem. We could have went there in a strong position, but we didn't. We spent fucking 3 years farting around doing nothing.
Still the best thing I've ever seen on Twitter. Someone going, if the woman was in charge of Brexit, it would have happened by now. Woman was in charge of Brexit for all this time and it didn't happen.
Yeah, we had one in charge for 3 fucking years, and it didn't.
But was it because of her inability to do so, or because she was bought off?
Because she was a Remainer who secretly pretended she was for Brexit when she got in.
There you go.
And then tried to sneak a deal which nobody wanted. Nobody on either side wanted that deal, and so therefore it just constantly got voted down until eventually she gave up and resigned. So yeah, that's what happened there. That's the short thing of it, yeah. Later Labour Jeremy Corbyn was due to close the Labour Party conference in Brighton with a speech on Wednesday, but brought it forward to Tuesday afternoon so he could return to Westminster. He told cheating delegates, tomorrow Parliament will return, the government will be held to account for what it has done. Boris Johnson has been found to have misled the country. His unelected Prime Minister should now resign. And did you guys watch Sargon's video about the Labour Party? They're a bunch of loons. I watched about 2 minutes of it. I couldn't sit through the rest of it.
I don't care for Sargon for whatever reason.
And I'm going to skip this because I can't be arsed reading the rest of this. It goes on for like fucking 5 more pages. Yeah, basically it's one shambles after another when it comes to Britain these days. Yeah, it was kind of vomit-inducing, yes it was.
That's all over the world, dude.
Like Conrads and fucking... Yeah, they're just fucking idiots. Anyway. Yeah, but I guess this is more uplifting article, I'm not too sure. As we look at it. Just remember that if you ever go to work, if you ever decide to go on a night out before work, you may have an excuse why you may be off. Hangovers are an illness. It says court an historic verdict.
Interesting.
Judges found that illness should be defined broadly in the interest of protecting people's health. A German court has ruled that a hangover is an illness. In a verdict against the distributor of food supplement marketed as an anti-hangover drink. And the state court in Frankfurt ruled in the verdict released on Monday that marketing by a defendant which it did not identify violated a ban. on attributing food products to prevent, treat, or heal illnesses. It rejected an appeal against the lower court's similar verdict. Conrad's Bane, diversity, gender pay gap was bullshit bingo. It's kind of what you expect then, isn't it? Judges found that an illness should not be broadly defined in the interest of protecting the person's self and said the term emphasizes any, even a slight temporary disruption on the person's normal body condition or normal activity according to the court statement. But then couldn't that include drugs as well?
By definition, alcohol is a drug, so I don't know. You could contest that.
But even a slight or temporary disruption in the body's normal condition or normal activity. So if you were to take a drug, that would affect that.
To be fair, sugar and caffeine are both considered drugs as well.
Correct. Now, are they trying to define this because they're trying to figure out if you can get paid for being too hungover to go to work? Well, you know how you have sick days, like sick leave?
Because the company apparently created an anti-hangover drink.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought they just meant that for marketing.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's a hangover is self-inflicted.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Sick pay for hangovers, if only.
Right?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Man, half the time you have to go in like that.
Yeah. You know, you seem to be sick around the same time in the week a lot. Hangover drink equals Bloody Mary. This includes headaches and other symptoms that result from consuming alcohol, a harmful substance. It's already been invented. Basically, according to them, hangovers are now an illness.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody knew. I see why they had to do that, though. Hey, more power to them. If they can prove they can cure your hangover, why not?
I mean, I guess there's some illnesses you bring upon yourself.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely self-inflicted. I'm hoping like they're not suggesting time off for work, but like I get really bad hangovers. Like I'm notorious. Like I've only met one other person that gets hungover like me. It's really insane, and I think a lot of it has to do with like an allergy to specific alcohols. But like they say things like vitamin B6, B12, magnesium. If they were to scientifically try to say that, oh, this is going to cure your hangover, yeah, you can get sued. Like that Theraflu, not Theraflu, but what was it? The vitamin C little packet things that you used to get for like airplanes and things like that. They got this shit suit out of them because they said that they could prevent the flu, but they couldn't.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, hey.
Yeah. What was that one, the actress that got sued because she was advertising her Jade Aids as being some sort of health item?
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah.
Why are there two truckers? That's weird.
Yeah.
Why they got Pumpkin Trucker and then Pumpkin Trucker again?
Because the browser crashed. Sorry.
Yeah, my stuff's freezing up too.
Oh, that one's gone. Anyway. Yeah, probably last article over there. Fucking loads.
Green Thunder, is that a real picture of your dog? Like, is
No,
that
it's
really
a
your dog? I know
It's a random one I found.
that's really cute though. It's creepy, but cute.
Someone just got homeless crisis brought the neighborhood to put boulders on the sidewalk to deter campers. A residential side street in San Francisco now resembles a scene. Oh, shut the fuck up. But ask you to play, no, I didn't, so why the fucking hell are you playing? fucking condom of
Someone's spying on you.
a residential side street in San Francisco now resembles a scene out of Rocky Road. As a group of neighbors banded together, placed about 2 dozen boulders along the sidewalk trying to deter homeless people from camping amid the city's ongoing crisis. San Francisco is one of the most expensive places to live. It's surprising considering it's covered in shit. Neighbors along Clinton Park in the city's mission. The large neighborhood said that Bronx meant to keep drug users from having space to shoot up as they camp overnight. They'll shoot up and stay overnight, said neighbor Don David Smith Town. A bunch of neighbors, we all sit together and a few $100. And I guess this is what they came up with. San Francisco has long suffered with a problems of shit and needles on the streets of the Tenderloin district, where many annex and homeless people are typically found in the street. The city has set a public toilet last year and announced the creation of a special 6-person crew patrol to clean up the human waste. You know there's a fucking problem when your city literally has a fucking crew patrol team. You know?
I can't cut it either.
Like really. Similar landscape measures have been implemented in other parts of the city. The California Department of Transportation has put up rocks in an open space of Bayshore Boulevard to deter it. Encompasses while the Harvey Mill branch of San Francisco Public Library. In the same neighborhood as many places that receive KTVU. What the fuck's that later going? Fuck's sake. There we go. Okay.
This is why you keep a lighter squarely up your cornhole. You never lose it.
No.
Although it sucks if you rip ass and light it, accidentally light it with your butt cheeks, all of a sudden your ass becomes a flamethrower.
Well, the state's homeless crisis was centered around the Tenderloin district. Other neighborhoods across San Francisco have also seen alarming increases of homeless people in recent years.
Well, see, here's the thing.
The boulders are
Sorry, go
sucking
ahead.
off people on scooters or wheelchairs, though. Technically, yes.
If I were homeless and super, like addicted to like stuff, that's the place I would want to be, because they get literally everything. It's legal to do. The weather is beautiful. You know, nobody's stopping you from doing this. It's like more so people are now flocking there for this reason versus it being something to help the local population.
Earlier this year, preliminary courts showed a 17% increase in the homeless population in the city from 2017. However, in court, San Francisco opted to use federal definition of homelessness. If it had used the same measure in it has in years past, the numbers would show an increase from 7,400 to 9,784, or 30%. About a month ago, out of frustration, the city officials not doing enough. Neighbors along Clinton Park decided to address the sidewalk problem. Sister Rock has helped. Neighbor Ernest Jettis. It's something we got to do. I feel like there's nothing being done. I have no idea. I don't do California. Free boulder for every homeless person.
Wow.
Well, homelessness advocates call the boulders a cruel response and not to listen to a massive problem. There's actually a name for it. It's called Anti-Homeless Architecture. Jennifer Fallen, Executive Director of the Coalition of Homelessness.
What a boring dystopia.
They want to fucking they want to socialist dystopia. That's what they want.
Right.
San Francisco Public Works Department spokeswoman told KTVU some fucking news site. The city has no part in putting boulders here. And since they're blocking the sidewalk, there are no plans to remove them. They were just smoking my fucking cigarette while people just stayed silent. San Francisco's homelessness prompted Donald Trump to threaten last week to slap the city with an environmental protection agency. Violation notice for allowing tremendous amount of waste, including needles to go through storm drains into the ocean. In a statement, Mayor London Breed called Trump's remarks ridiculous and said that the storm drain debris is filtered out of the city, wastewater treatment plants, and that none flows into the bay or ocean. I'm going to say accident probably.
Yeah, I got that.
Freed out of the city is fighting homelessness by adding 1,000 beds to shelters and wants the $6 million bond to build affordable housing and increase services for people with addiction and mental illness. Paul Joseph Watson has done great videos on San Francisco. Homeless advocates on Monday said the immediate problem is that they're dealing with a lack of shelters. We have 1,200 people on the wait list for shelter. That's for tonight. Foreign told the news site. Hello, Rosie. People have nowhere to go. Did anyone see the video of Lindsay Lohan trying to talk to a homeless family? She's a good lunatic. No, I did not see that.
No, I did not. Also, here's my dog before he passed.
Anyway, reached the end, so she'll.
Tomorrow is me just sitting down and talking to Phantom for an hour.
Oh, Pumpkin Trucker Channel. That's. Sorry?
Speak to Rosie in the chat. Yeah, Maria's here. Maria's on the stream.
Yeah, sorry. I was just I'm trying to type in. Hey.
Pumpkin
I like
Trucker
your dog,
Channel.
by the way. Sorry,
No schedule
Pumpkin
this
Trucker
week.
Channel.
Sorry. Pumpkin Trucker Channel. No schedule this week. I am on vacation and watching a cat yak up a hairball. Go outside for a ball.
I hate when they do that, especially when they do it in the middle of the walkway and you don't realize it until after you step in it.
He's doing it in the middle of the kitchen and I'm cooking dinner.
Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. You're all a bunch of cunts. Goodbye.
Fuck
Bye.
off.